Forget about pumpkin pies for dessert this weekend. Wendy Barrett, National Food Educator, is here with Thanksgiving desserts using pears. Hi, Wendy. Nice to have you on the show.
Oh, good morning.
Good
Very
morning.
nice to be on.
Well,
Yeah.
I have to tell you, I love pears. I'm all about the pears, so I'm excited to learn about this dessert. It looks very straightforward and easy, which is what people want when they're making a big Thanksgiving dinner, right?
Oh my goodness. If I can do it, anybody can do it. That's what I say.
Okay. So where do we start?
Let's go over the different varieties of pears.
Yes.
So everybody knows what they're looking at when they're in the grocery store. So basically, this is called an Anjou pear. This is a Boss pear. This is a Bartlett pear. And this gorgeous beauty at the end is called a Star Crimson. Now, what's really important is that the only pear that's going to change color is this beautiful Bartlett. It's going to go from green to yellow when it's ripe. All these other pears are going to stay exactly the same color. So, most important thing I think when it comes to using pears is ripeness. So
Yes.
how do you tell when a pear is ripe?
Mm-hmm.
What you do is you take the pear, you take your thumb and your index finger, just apply a little bit of pressure to the neck, it's called, and if it gives a bit, it should be ripe.
Perfect. Good
so
tip.
This is a Boss. This feels a little bit harder. So let's see. Yeah, it's a very, very important tip. So this should just glide through if the pear is ripe.
And you're storing these the same as you would apples, correct?
No, you don't.
No?
I don't, anyways.
What do you do?
Basically, what I do is, this is not a ripe pear, okay? So I'm going to take one. I buy them firm at the store, and then I just leave them on the kitchen counter, and I just wait for them to ripen. And if I'm not ready to use it, to eat it, I would say, then put it in the fridge, and it'll slow down the ripening.
Okay.
So this one is still a little underripe, but notice I couldn't even get the pear slicer through this one.
Right.
And this one's good. This one's really good to go. So this is key to all of this. So should we get to the clafouti?
Yes. Let's learn about this one. So you're using the options for pans here, but I noticed you're using cast iron.
Yeah. So basically, what I have in here, if you can see it, is a little bit of melted butter, and I used a Boss pear, and I just sliced it and then curved it around. So this is your beginning of the clafouti. Then I'm going to add a couple of eggs and some sugar, actually 3 tablespoons of sugar, and I'm going to whip it up. If you've got an electric mixer, that's a little bit easier to do, but that's, it's a bit noisy on television. So I'm just going to whisk this together, and then I'm going to add some flour.
I was going to ask you, can you use any alternate flours for this? Because a lot of people are looking for that these days. Yes?
Really, really, really good point. I'm glad you raised that. A little bit of salt, vanilla, and some lemon zest. But yes, this could be a gluten-free clafouti, no problem. And clafouti is a French dessert, and it basically, what I'm doing here is I'm just making a custard. And then what I'm going to do is pour this on top once it's all mixed, and put it in the oven for about 20-25 minutes. Keep your eye on it at 350, and it should be nicely browned around the edges. So I'm just going to pour this in here.
Well, that's pretty straightforward, isn't it?
So easy, Leslie, so easy. And I'm going to put this in the oven, and I'm going to bake it. And then what you're going to end up with is this beauty over here. So this is the clafouti. What I'm going to do is get a dollop of yogurt in the center.
Nice.
And then I'm just going to make it look a little bit prettier by putting some fresh mint. And this can be your Thanksgiving dessert, and people will just be raving about it. It's 100%. You cannot go wrong with this dessert.
And I like how, so you flip it out onto the plate the other way around, so you see all that nice spiral of pears that you did, and nice and straightforward.
Yeah, and just let it cool down before you start slipping out.
Okay, last question. How can people get this recipe, Wendy?
It should be on your website.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
we're going to borrow it from you. Thank you.
Use it.
Thank you. I can't wait to try it. And have yourself a good Thanksgiving weekend. We really appreciate you coming on the show.